When Twitter fact-checks the White House, apparently the answer to the problem of misinformation is just to delete the tweet. The White House team apparently doesn't get how this works. Why don't you fix it and put the facts in it? They didn't do that. Twitter fact-checked the tweet boasting that the president deserved credit for the boost in Social Security payments. Twitter then added context explaining that that actual increase has to happen. It's required by law because it's a cost of living adjustment because of the high inflation. One Twitter user called it incredible. A conservative author wrote, "I've never seen this happen with lefty narratives. Amazing." Another tweet reads, "Wow, fact checkers are getting factual now." The New York Post editorial board wrote, "Will Twitter get any help shaming Team Biden out of endless lies?" Adding, quote, "We hope it's a trend because practically everything out of Biden's mouth should get the same deflating context." Here is how the White House responded after being questioned about just deleting the fact-check tweet.
The tweet was not complete. Usually when we put out a tweet, we posted with context, and it did not have that context. As you've been hearing me say for the past few minutes about MAGA Republicans in Congress and their continued threat to threaten Social Security and Medicare, proposing to put them on the chopping blocks every 5 years, threatening benefits, and to change eligibility. So those are the types of context that would normally be with a tweet like that. It did not have that context.
That's laughable. It had to be adjusted for inflation. She didn't want to say the word inflation. Clay Travis is here, founder of Outkick. I want to know your response.
Finally, we get just someone calling basic balls and strikes who's not in on the rig job. You know, this is so important, I think. All of this consternation on the left wing is brought about because Republicans and people with functional brains in the center part of the country are just saying, hey, let's treat all politicians evenly. Let's treat all speech equally. And they can't handle the idea that their rig job might finally go up in smoke. And this is really the first strong evidence I've seen, Harris, that we may at least get some form of normalcy back in terms of social media and how we handle the marketplace of ideas.
Real quickly, I want to get your thoughts on just the forensic ignorance that exists with the White House thinking that they could just delete the tweet, that actually fixing the facts and including the legal requirement based on the higher inflation, the cost of living, so on and so forth. But that would mean that they would have to talk about their economic policies, I would suppose.
No, yeah, and I think you're exactly right here. And I think this is a part of a larger story. Why have Democrat politicians overwhelmingly, whether it's New York, whether it's Michigan, whether it's certainly Pennsylvania, as you have watched these debates take place, why have Democrat politicians gotten wrecked so often in the debates? I think it's because they're soft and flabby, because they're used to being protected by the media. Their inaccuracies don't get called out, and that makes them worse candidates, honestly. It makes them worse politicians. And you saw this with the reaction of KJP, who had almost no idea how to respond to this. And probably the White House was stunned when the fact check got tossed on their tweet, because it hasn't happened for virtually all of the other lies that they've been disseminating from the White House for the past 2 years.
So it is what you're saying that I say to people all the time as a journalist. I'll say, you know what, you should lean into the tough questions, because that'll make you a better fighter.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants that advice, though.
That's exactly
but
right.
It's so true. All right, let's move on. The New York Post cover hitting New York's governor, Kathy Hochul, who's trying to keep that seat, for passing the buck after the brutal murder of a Buffalo mother. Now, by the way, that's Hochul's hometown. Police say a man shot and killed his wife, Kiara Benenfield, in front of her children, just hours after he had been released without bail for allegedly beating her. Critics quickly blamed Governor Hochul's soft-on-crime policies, but the governor said the system has to work. We have to make sure the judge and prosecutors charge appropriately. The governor's opponent, Republican Lee Zeldin, fired back this way.
Kathy Hochul doesn't want to talk about any of it. She wants us to just look away. There's nothing to see here. She's really alienated herself, not just with Republicans, but Democrats and independents, too.
NYPD Commissioner Kenshet Sewell called on the governor to roll back her bail reform policies, while Mayor Eric Adams has not commented. Well, of course not. He's probably up partying. He likes the social scene. Clay?
Look, this is what happens when you decide that you are being too tough on violent criminals. And that's basically what America decided in the last several years. Being soft on crime is a luxury of a low crime environment. And Harris, we no longer have a low crime environment. That's an awful story out of the Buffalo area. But every single person watching us right now, in their community, in their state, there is someone who was the victim of a violent criminal who was otherwise 100% innocent and would still be alive if our authorities did their job and our prosecutors did their job. Look, police are begging. We know who the criminals are. When we arrest them, keep them in jail, please, so we don't have to keep arresting them for committing more and more violent acts. And this is why I think Kathy Hochul has a very real chance of losing in 5 days, and why so many Democrat politicians are dealing with a red tsunami all over the country because they failed. There's a story just like this one in every part of the country, no matter where you're watching us right now.
So sad indeed. Let's hit this last one real quickly. The climate czar has racked up quite the footprint. And I just want to get your thoughts on the fact that most of us are only using a fraction of the amount of energy that John Kerry is using flying around in a commercial jet for a UN conference in Egypt next week. Critics calling him a hypocrite. Your quick thought.
Well, he is a hypocrite. Harris, look, the only reason he's flying commercial now is because he's flown private so much and been ridiculed for this. It's not just John Kerry, it's the Leonardo DiCaprios of the world. The number of people out there who are decrying climate change and then taking hundreds of private jet flights all around the world. There's a hypocrisy there, Harris. It's hard to ignore, and certainly Kerry is a part of it.
Look, he's going to use up an estimated 300 metric tons. Those of us who live on this planet use about 16 metric tons of energy a year. Wow. Clay, please come back. It was fun. Outnumbered next.
For sure. Loved it. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.